We are live from Studio B here at the Beach Street Yacht Club for a Friday, the 19th, Julia.
Yes, indeed.
Of September. I trust you are well.
I am.
Any hot tips? Any news?
Oh, it's going to be a good show.
How do you know?
You told me.
That's like the old Don Rickles joke. He said, yeah, well, you know, he would be talking about somebody, the late, great Robert Redford. He's a hell of a good actor. How do you know? He told me that this morning on the phone. How do you know it's going to be a good show, Julia?
I know because you told me.
I hope you're right. Thanks, everybody, for joining us. This is, as I said, it is the 19th. We got a couple more days to the September equinox, Julia. And I have a new start line photo for starting line of ours for the start of our show number 867. Now, for extra credit, can anybody identify that yacht club, that class of boats, that lake, that capital city somewhere in the world? I'll tell you, it's in Europe. As Chris Exley checks in, Clay Embley, Phil Yeomans, Mark Holland, Alistair Murray's up early. He says. I wonder why. Julia. It is 06:02 now in Sydney, Australia. Any idea who that club is, where that club is?
No.
It might be in recognition of your late, great husband, Captain Conrad Wedekind, who was from that country. There's another clue.
Germany.
It is Germany. We'll get to that in a minute. Happy Friday and happy International Talk Like a What Day, Julia. Talk Like a What Day. We'll get to that, too.
Yes.
Why'd you think Alistair Murray was going, arr?
A pirate.
Exactly. It's the 90th anniversary of the Piraten Yola, the pirate dinghy class, a popular German youth boat, and now really just a popular class. Looks like a big snipe with a spinnaker. Coaching corner, John Emmett will be at it, back at Castle Cove Sailing Club. And this time John really steps in it. Well, that's what I said last time, but, we'll see if he steps in. He's got quite a good segment today for us. Feature the preview of the Rolex Switzerland Sail GP. It's the first time they've been in Switzerland, and they have this morning announced the 13th team for 2026. It was not American Magic, as I told you might be on Tuesday, although I hedged my bets and I was right about the team. We'll tell you that. We have an AAAA from Alistair Murray in Oz. He offers up a Ronstan watch as the prize for a little Fosey competition that he is going to tell us about in that video. The World Women's Match Racing Championship, really, the tour is going on as we speak at the Chicago Yacht Club. It's been a little light, but can anyone stop the French lady Pauline and perennial winner on the Women's Match Racing Tour, Pauline Courtois? The OK Dinghy Worlds are about to wrap up. A huge, that huge event we've been talking about continues at Garda in spectacular conditions. We'll have the latest. And then in our last legs segment, we'll feature the 6-meter worlds, which are about to start at the Sewanaka Corinthian Yacht Club. We talked about a bit about that on Tuesday, Julia.
Yep.
And it's turning into another terrific event. We have a video from 2 years ago of that event, since they haven't produced one yet.
Yeah.
From Sewanaka. Thanks, everybody, for joining us. That's today's starting line, the show notes at the top of the show. And back to that photo for a minute. Fabian Haraldson with 3 Swedish flags saying, "Go Artemis." Wasn't that the 2-decker boat from April Fool's Joke from SI last year? No. Close, though. That is a good guess, Mark Holland. Well, what a memory he's got. And we've got a lot of people checking in. Tier DeYoung in SoCal, Larry Kennedy in the FIDI, the Financial District of New York. Jody is up and at him on his Saturday morning. As I said, it's 06:04 now. On the east coast of Australia, Larry Kennedy saying, "Arr!"
Yeah.
Peter Stevenson listening in from Formia in Italy. He's sent some interesting photos.
Yes.
He's checked in the marketplace. Did you see that? He checked for Italian croutons.
Yes.
He said no, but he did find some crostini or something close.
Oh.
He may send those along, Julia. Back to the photo. That is the O Dinghy class, and you can see.
I thought it was a sailing.
Well, that's close. You can see, though, the GER on all the sails. That is a German yacht club, and that is one of the popular classes at that particular club. And there is the Burgee of that club. No, it is not the Jolly Roger Yacht Club. It is the Jorsfelder Sailing Club in Germany, established 1907 on Tegel Lake, or what the Germans would say the Tegeler Sea, which is in the northwest suburbs, really, corner of Berlin, out by the Berlin-Tegel airport. And it is a terrific club. I've not been there, but I've heard a lot about it over the years. There it is down in the lower right corner of that map, courtesy of Google Maps. And just to give you a little orientation, of course, Berlin, almost due south of Sassnitz. Where is Sassnitz on this? Didn't I have it on here? Yeah, right up in the very upper right-hand corner is Sassnitz, where the Sail GP was a couple.
You just covered it up.
I just covered it up a few weeks ago. And then, of course, over here is Kiel, Germany, the famous German yachting center in Hamburg, where I lived for almost 10 years. Leslie, Meg, and I were there in Hamburg. So we know a little bit about that part of the world. We're going to be talking about a club also near Hamburg in a moment, because the Germans, well, let's talk about what day it is. But before we wrap up on this club, there is a beautiful aerial of that lake northwest of Berlin. That club was one of a bunch of clubs that sponsored the first and only German entry into the America's Cup 2007. That's a 2006 photo of GER 72. The sponsor was United Internet Team Germany. Didn't do very well down in Valencia, but they were there, and it was nice to have them there. And back to that club, another class that's very popular in Germany, but also at that particular club, is called the, can anyone identify that class? As Chris Fury checks in from windy Melbourne in Australia. Dogzilla Monster up in Seattle says, why don't pirates go to strip malls? Because they already have all the booty. Oh, God, Julia. Oh, goodness. That class, do you see the kind of, I don't know, it's kind of a hammer. It's like a Viking hammer scalpel or something on it. That is the Piratenjola, meaning the pirate dinghy in German, established 90 years ago this year. Steve Gruber says the Lizzie Borden class.
Uh-oh.
That's a clever comment of the day, the Lizzie Borden class. The pirate class, the pirate dinghy. The pirate class, the Piraten KV, which class of whatever that stands for. In German, but it's a great class. So you see, it's a hard chine boat. I guess you can see the chines, and it looks a bit like a snipe with a small kite on it. And here's a nice video. Popular in Germany, Switzerland, and really the German-speaking part of Europe. You can see Turkey, Czech Republic, Hungary. Yep. A lot of countries in Europe. It was home built, which again made it popular. Especially, it was a youth boat originally in Germany, a kid's boat.
Yeah.
And I hope we're not going to get a copyright strike for this music. I have no idea what this is. With a little kite, the boom up in the air so that it's easy for old folks like me to get under the boom. They're having fun at the finish line. The Piraten dinghy. The pirate dinghy. Okay, enough of that. So, Julia, what are we celebrating today?
Pirates?
We are celebrating pirates, but what exactly? It is International.
Oh, talk like a pirate.
Talk like a pirate day.
Arr.
Arr. Brush up your seafaring vocab and talk like a pirate for a day. Ahoy, yo ho ho, and avast, you matey. To port, to starboard, and then bring a spring up on her. I guess they don't know what that meant when whoever put this slide together, but they must be talking about a spring line, I guess, a mooring line. Talk like a pirate day, Chris Fury is saying. Yar har. Ahoy there, ye lily-livered. I don't think blackguards was a pirate word. I think they were trying to make it nice instead of bastards. Talk like a pirate day means it's time for pillaging and the imbibing of rum, Julia.
What a good idea.
To that end,
Oh.
I have refreshed.
Oh.
I have refreshed.
Wow. The bourbon.
It's not the bourbon cream. It's not rum. But for your coffee, here we go, Julia.
All right.
I'm cracking. I hope I'm cracking. The seal.
Oh.
There we go.
Yay.
On the bourbon cream from Clayton Embley in Kentucky. And for you, Julia, only for you,
Yes.
we pour a little. Pour it on the carpet. Is that enough?
Yeah. Thank you.
Oh, smells great. The bourbon cream.
Oh, it does smell good.
Hmm?
It does smell good.
And thanks to Clayton Embley for that.
Thank you, Clayton.
Put it back here on Peter Stevenson's Croutonic Corner board. He promises me a bigger one. Josh Tozo, ahoy from Newport, mateys. And Hamish Ross checking in from Auckland, where it's a couple hours later than Sydney. It's 08:11 in Auckland. And Hamish, rather, has a submission. Belated good morning. Rick Banner of the Spinnakers remind me of Taylor Swift's brassieres. They are little tiny Spinnakers. Talk like a pirate day. Mount Gay for sailors, Hamish Ross insists, but pillaging and the imbibing of rum. Pirates have all been. I don't understand this. I guess I think I went once as a pirate for Halloween. I think my mother dressed me up, or I wanted to dress up as a Halloween as a pirate.
Yeah.
I guess I don't remember, and I don't know why pirates. I guess that maybe it was the movie, the couple movies, the Pirates of the Caribbean. And remember, Kayard had that as his sponsor for his round the world race.
Yeah.
At one point. Pirates of the Caribbean, the movie.
Mm-hmm.
They've been the rage, though, in recent years, and out of that particular fascination came an insane and completely pirate-oriented idea that there should be a day dedicated to keeping the piratical language alive and, more importantly, the tradition of all things related to pirates. So that's why we have International Talk Like a Pirate Day. I have no idea how to talk like a pirate, Julia, but I can tell you that there is a Pirates Yacht Club on Facebook with fully 51,000 followers.
Wow.
And from having lived in Germany, I can tell you that there is, in Germany in particular, there is this class that we were just telling you about, the Piraten, the pirate class, the pirate dinghy. But as a result of it having originally been a youth boat in Germany, that pirate class,
Yeah.
a lot of the clubs call their youth program the Piraten.
Aha.
D-P-R-I-D, is it? I don't know. I need somebody who speaks German better than I. So this is a club of which I was a member, close to where we lived out in the suburbs of Hamburg, out on the Blankenese, the Segel Club, and it was founded in 1898. And there is their Piratengruppe, as they call them, the youth, and they still call them. A lot of the clubs around Germany call them that. Also in Hamburg, on the Alster, there is this club called the Alston Piraten Club, which has an interesting history. Briefly, it dates back to before World War I, and what it was, it looks like a bunch of frat boys, and it really is, but it's the kids who are sort of in their teens until they become 19, 20, 21, and they were a group of young sailors who were connected with the Norddeutsche Regattaverein. They had to shut the club down during World War II, actually in 1938 or 39, because they were afraid they would get subsumed by Hitler Youth. They didn't want to have to become Hitler Youth.
Uh-huh.
And I talked to this group one time about the America's Cup back when we lived in the late 90s, early aughts in Hamburg, in Germany. And they have quite a tradition. They're really a subset now of the youth program at the Norddeutsche Regattaverein, the North German Sailing Society, the New York Yacht Club of Germany, really. You'll have to knock down a wall or two to fit a bigger crouton board in your studio piece, Stevenson is saying. My grandchild had a Pirate's Day at daycare. Them what dies be the lucky ones. Chris Exley's got a quote there, with an inflatable parrot like Peter Sellers. Pirate scum will drink anything, Clayton Embley is saying. Well, thanks, Clayton, for your bottle. So I thought I should dedicate a few of these. These were coming in this morning, Julia.
Yep.
over the door, under the door, in the email, in the chat. So I decided I'd run several of these and dedicate them. Ye be warned, these are pirate waters. Now, who would you dedicate that to? Who's always giving us warnings in his Rule 69 blog on Substack?
Oh, yes.
Magnus the Magnificent. We dedicate that one to him. Who would you dedicate that to, Julia? Drink up, me hearties, yo-ho.
Uh-huh.
Well, you got Clayt Embley, for starters, who's been your supplier.
Yes, indeed.
And to Jody Shields, who loves to come on with a cocktail joke or two.
Mm-hmm.
So are you going to have a sip of that now?
Mm-hmm.
How is that? I gave you a pretty good pour.
You didn't. It was measly.
Oh, come on. It was a good pour. Pirates only. Keep out or walk the plank. I mean, kids have these signs on their, the doors to their bedrooms, I guess.
Yeah.
How do you make a pirate cranky? Take away the P. Jody Shields. Irate. That's I dedicate that to Gordon Smith, who, by the way, has been a bit under the weather with a bad case of the flu. He texted us after Tuesday's show, so Gordo, I hope you're doing better, and we dedicate that one to you, because he would say, pirates only, keep out or walk the plank. I could just hear him saying that. How about this one? Why be salty when you can be a pirate? That's what Pindar would say, right? The man of the world, always out on the ocean, always around. How about this one? Surrender the booty. Huh?
Yes.
Surrender the booty. That's got to be Ted Ryman, right?
Right.
Clark Chapin used to say this. This is one of his favorite sayings. The beatings will continue until morale improves. So I had to dedicate that to Clark Chapin.
Yep.
And then finally, one of our lovely Fosi, who often talks about his even lovelier wife, a salty pirate lives here with a beautiful mermaid. And who would that be? Why, Alistair Murray.
Oh, I was going to say, yeah.
He's always talking about Tracy, right?
You're right.
Okay, and this one I got to dedicate to Commodore Harrington. I hope I don't get a copyright strike.
They're taking the ship.
They're taking the ship. That is the worst pirate I've ever seen.
Bring her out. Bring her around.
And watch this. Search. He's on the pirate ship trying to find. And they swing over, get on the intercept, and steal his boat. And he says,
Commodore, for getting us ready to make way. We never had a hard time of it by ourselves.
Just get them in range of the long nine.
Commodore, he's disabled the rudder chain, sir.
Commodore, he's disabled the rudder chain. It is 2IC, as the Kiwis and Aussies would say, second in charge. Mm-hmm. He's the best pirate I've ever seen. We dedicate that to Claire Harrington, of course.
Of course.
Vice Commodore Claire Harrington.
Yes.
And then a serious matter about pirates. Do you know why they drink rum and beer?
Because that was the only thing that wasn't infected.
Exactly. Well done, Julia. And here's the video to prove just that.
Back in time for a minute. Imagine you're a pirate rolling across the high seas, maybe plotting your next big score or just trying to survive another salty day. But here's the thing. You're surrounded by endless ocean, and yet, what you need most isn't treasure or rum, it's water. But not just any water. You'd think pirates would be desperate for any fresh water they could find, right? Turns out, not exactly. Fresh water on ships was a bit of a double-edged cutlass. Barrels used to store water. Not airtight, water goes bad fast. Within days, algae would start to grow, bacteria would multiply, and the water would taste nasty and slimy. Imagine drinking a pond in summer. So why not just top up with fresh water whenever they hit land? Stopping was risky. Every time you headed for shore, you were exposing yourself. Literally. Naval patrols, angry colonists, rival pirates. They all watched for thirsty ships. Catching a crew filling casks at a river or at a spring left them off guard, tired and weaponless. Not the best time for a sword fight. Not all land water was safe. Stagnant ponds, streams near settlements, could carry disease or even be poisoned. So pirates got clever. They drank alternatives, beer, watered down rum. Alcohol spoiled less quickly and killed some germs, so it was often safer than rank water. Some ships collected rain off their sails, catching fresh drops during storms. It wasn't perfect, but it beat risking your life and freedom to fill a barrel. Pirates balanced thirst, safety, and survival. Stay at sea too long, you choke down green mush. Head to shore, you risk a cannonball to the hull. Don't picture pirates with crystal clear goblets. Picture them weighing every sip, making tough choices, and sometimes taking a gulp of watered down rum. That's the real pirate's life at sea.
How was that?
That's
Julia?
fine. That's fine. Someday I'll share with you my story of being boarded by pirates at sea.
Is that loud enough? Long story short, you and your late great husband were on a cruise ship.
Yep.
Which one?
Seaborn.
Seaborn. This is what, back in the 80s, the 70s?
No, at the beginning of this century, in like 2008 or something like that.
So in the noughts.
And then not.
In the noughts, and you were in the Red Sea,
Yeah.
and pirates boarded your ship?
Well, we're actually out of the Red Sea on our way around. We were.
But close enough. You were in that area, in the
Yeah.
Middle East. And it wasn't where somebody pushed there was somebody in a wheelchair, and the pirates pushed the guy over the side.
No, that was different.
But you came back and gave a big speech over at
Yep.
St. Francis Yacht Club
Yeah.
about that experience, being boarded by pirates on a cruise ship.
Yeah, it was the first.
Did they threaten you?
No, we
Did you go out and wave your finger at them and tell them to cease and desist?
Fortunately, not. we had a very wise captain running the ship, and we outran them. And
Oh, they never got on board?
they didn't. They shot at us.
Oh, well.
And
Julie, if they didn't get on board, that's no fun.
no, it was quite nice that they didn't get on board.
Okay. There's one last comment here. Chris, actually, you're back and forth on the liver issues. The person they drink rum and beer is the reason they drink rum and beer is because nothing fun starts with a can of OK lemonade. Jody Shield.
Thank you, Jody.
Alistair's reading Master and Commander. Do you see that?
Oh, that's good.
Okay, let's move on here and look at John Emmett's Coaching Corner report for today. Super Fuzzy John Emmett from Great Britain, and he's on the beach in front of the coffee shop.
Hi, Tom, Julia, and all the Fosy. Well, it's an interesting time at the moment, and one of the big conversations is about the World Sailing Conference. And I think it's important to step back and try and see the bigger picture, because often when we have knee-jerk reactions, they're wrong. Whereas if we think long-term, we're likely to have a better outcome. And I think one of the key things, and it's something that I learn, I guess, every single day, is you cannot please everybody all the time. And if you can please most of the people, most of the time, you're doing incredibly well. And I think a lot of it, and this is both on and off the water, is working as a team to try and achieve some common goals. And from that point of view, you're not going to find that everybody agrees with you all the time. And if you have a difference in opinion, to take the time to listen to the other person, the other side of the argument, as it were. But also, if you feel strongly about something, you can't expect people to just take your word for it on an emotional level because you feel that way. You need to present the evidence. And as I said, the difficult thing now is there will be some things which will change in our beloved sport that we have no control about, and it becomes about making the best of the situation. Just like when you're on the left-hand side of the beat and the wind goes hard right, and as sailors, we should probably be very used to dealing with the uncontrollables, but it is about working together as a team, and we need to think really carefully what our sport looks like from the outside looking in. And we are under a transition period, I think, as is a lot of sports, and there's always going to be difficulties with for example, people aged 20 to 40, when you have that university, career, young family drags people away from sport, and then maybe they come back when they have kids themselves. As I say, my big passion at the moment is very much about the parasailing. And one of the big topics that Tom does really well is what is the key, what's the lead for any particular show. And what I would like to see to represent our beloved Sailing Illustrated is a variety. So sometimes we have foiling, sometimes we have keel boats, sometimes we have match racing, sometimes we have fleet racing, sometimes we have a women's only focus, sometimes a power only focus, so that everything gets represented, not only, if you like, what are our pet favourites. Personally, I think by definition, the future of our sport is the youth sailors. So that's where we probably need to focus a lot of our attention, because let's face it, if somebody's really into sailing at 60, you've probably got them for life. At 16, when there's a lot of other things, we're probably facing a more difficult battle. And it's those people who, you know, we really need to engage, not so much in terms of performance, but so they just can't wait to take their cover off every single weekend. And for me, in terms of the other side of the coin, I think the Masters sailing is an absolutely wonderful thing, and it's a global thing, and it brings a lot of friends together every year. And yeah, I think it's amazing that people are still actively racing, and that camaraderie just continues, showing that sailing really is a sport for life.
Time for a little power update. Now, first of all, some good news. Leo has joined Hannah Stodel, so there's now finally a bit more support for her. She has an assistant, and Leo I know very well because he was heavily involved in ILCA UK. And of course, many hands make light work, and hopefully this is going to make a huge difference to the amount of work they can get done, because to a certain extent, it's all about collecting the data. It's not enough to have participation all around the world, many different countries, but actually you need to have proof of that to the IPC. And that means, you know, sailors having World Sailing Sailor ID, and that is expressed in terms of events. Well, probably the best is racing competition, but any organised events to show that there is that participation around. And obviously, you know, there's lots of different boats and types of events which go on. I mean, it's interesting with the Inclusion Worlds this year, they're going to have ILCAs for those people. I think it's with learning impairments, because it's about accessibility. So obviously Oman has hosted major championships, and like many countries in the world, ILCAs are readily accessible. And then I keep on saying, you know, the future is foiling, and you can't believe how excited the parasailers are to go foiling. So this will be a big development, and I think just watch this space. I did hope to have a announcement or an update about the 2026 Inclusion Championships. It's one of the things working really hard to get the information out so people can plan, but there isn't any details of that, because it's a bit of a period of flux. If we look at the IPC, you actually see all the board members are changing, every board member is changing, and we don't really know who's going to be in the position of vice presidents and presidents, because every position is contested, which is probably a healthy thing to be. But I will try and do these regular updates, but I think I probably need to go and get packing.
So it's quite possible I won't make the live show because I'm off on my travels. It's always raining for pack-up day, and once again I should probably be helping out rather doing video, but there we go. I guess people are used to that. So sail fast, sail safe, and keep having fun, and try and do some big regattas if you can.
Okay, so I asked John in the comments in the chat, Leo who? Obviously, it's not Leo Takahashi, but I don't know who it is that's joining. It's somebody John knows, so that's, I guess, good news. We've got more staffing at World Sailing 4 for parasailing. And the other thing is, I don't know where, I have no idea where John's headed, Julia. He's our international man of mystery, headed to yet another venue, or so it would seem.
Yes.
So we'll check that out. And thanks, John, for that report. Sorry, John, we'll have to revisit. Was ordering Patriot Pirates on Amazon and Hamish's recommendation. Julia, you see that Mary Longpriest says
Yes, I saw that. Yeah.
she was on a Red ship, Seaborne, on a Red Sea Seaborne ship.
Yep.
And they stayed safe after military helicopters came along and rescued the day.
Yeah, we didn't get any milk. We were too far out.
John Emmett. John Emmett Sailing, get to the front of the fleet. I forgot the second name, my bad, John says about Leo, but he'll figure out who that is and maybe put it in the chat for us. Just a reminder, we like to say at this stage and every show, we're all pushing hard, especially the Aussies, to get sailing back into the Olympics via as a demonstration demonstration sport for Brisbane 2032. It's our push for Paralympic sailing, and we've been pushing that now most of this year, and hope you will support that as well.
Right.
Our feature for today is, of course, Sail GP, and there is the new team. I did a one here's the other day, and bear with me because I think my one here's is still going to come true, not as the 13th team, but stand by. But in the meantime, it was revealed this morning that Artemis has been named as Sail GP's 13th team, not their 14th team. They will be racing from the start of next year in Perth. Sail GP has revealed its 13th team, Artemis Sail GP, bringing back one of the sport's most innovative and respected challengers.
No
indeed.
question.
Led by CEO Ian Percy, an Olympic gold medalist and veteran of multiple America's Cup campaigns, the Swedish outfit is ready to make an immediate impact when Sail GP's sixth season kicks off in January 2026 in Perth. The return is powered by Artemis Racing's owner, Torbjörn Tornquist, and reigniting Sweden's proud sailing heritage and competitive spirit on one of our sport's fastest stages. That was strangely worded in that Sail GP release.
Yes.
And here's a little video that came out. Sail GP is growing.
Fastest speed in Sail GP ever.
Bit of a strange video, but
Yes, it would be great to have them.
it will be.
Oh, this is huge.
But this event continues to go from strength to strength. It's starting to make the America's Cup look fairly croutonic
Yes.
with all of their ups and downs and backs and forths. And, how many teams are going to have? 3, 4, maybe 5 at the, at the most.
Or 2.
And maybe 2. Exactly, Julia, maybe 2. Artemis Sail GP team. There was more on all of this, Julia. And Russell here with not only the chief, but the Olympic medalist and more, but you are going to see driving for them the Sail GP veteran and member of, I guess he's still a member. I don't know if he's still a member or not of the Kiwis America's Cup team. But look at this, adding even more firepower, Olympic champion Nathan Outeridge has been named the driver. Outeridge steered Japan Sail GP team, as most of you will remember, to success in the league's opening 2 seasons, as well as making a cameo for the Danish team Rockwell Racing in season 4. The Australian who most recently won the 37th America's Cup with ETNZ is relishing the chance to rejoin Sail GP at the wheel of its newest team. Reuniting with Ian Percy, Torbjörn, and the Artemis team for this new chapter in Sail GP is incredibly exciting. That's a quote from Nathan. And then Lisa was doing her usual pre-regatta interviews, and I took just a couple of them, actually 3 interviews off of that much longer video. And here is her interviews with Ian and Nathan.
Welcome to the walkabout for the Rolex Switzerland Sail Grand Prix in Geneva. I'm so excited for this. We've got a new venue, new foils, and we've just announced a new team. Let's dive right in. Well, I'm here with our new driver, our new team, but he's a familiar face, Nathan Outeridge. Welcome back.
Yeah, I'm not that new, but I've been around before. But thank you. It's great to be back in new colours.
And you're representing Artemis. Tell us about the launch, how excited you are, and who you're representing.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible to be back with Sail GP. I've obviously had a season off, and to be joining an old family, the Artemis family is pretty special for me. So yeah, really excited to be here launching the Artemis Sail GP team.
And the Swedish sailing, it's massive, it's growing. How excited are you to bring some Swedish talent into Sail GP alongside you?
Yeah, obviously, Sweden's a very strong sailing nation. We've seen them getting better and better at every Olympics, and we saw with the Women's and the Youth America's Cup some really good sailors coming out of Sweden. So it's an amazing opportunity to get them involved with the Sail GP team. We see Swedes on other boats at the moment, so yeah, it's all happening.
Now, I know you've been sailing around the world with your family, but have you been tuning and seeing how hot the competition is here?
Of course, I'm always listening to your podcast, Lise. Love hearing your analysis on how each event goes, and honestly, we flick the Starlink on, watch the racing on the weekends, and then try and flick it off and go back to our life on the boat. But no, of course, I've been following the action, and it's been nice to take a year off and get some perspective on what I really want to do. And when this opportunity came up, it was impossible to say no. Like, I can't wait to get back into it next year.
So you're starting off the 2026 season in Perth, so kind of a Australian event for you representing the Swedish team. Can you give us any insight of how excited you are to be back in Sail GP and how awesome the racing will be?
Yeah, well, you look at the calendar for next year, it looks epic, kicking off in Perth, what a venue. I remember sailing the 49er there years ago and winning the World Championships in like epic conditions. So I'm sure we're going to have an awesome event there. And then, the season just keeps getting better from there as we go through Sydney, Auckland, up into North America, into Europe. So yeah, pretty excited to be back, and can't wait to let everyone know what our team does look like when we finally show up on the start line.
Well, we'll be tuning in. Thank you so much, Nath, and great to have you back.
Oh, my pleasure.
Well, I'm here with Ian Percy, the new CEO of Artemis Sail GP team. How excited are you to see Artemis on the start line next year?
It's very cool. Yeah, it's really cool to be back. It's going to be good to race up against my old mates as well, and we get Nathan out there to smash them up a bit, hopefully.
Well, Artemis, you used to race on the boat against people like Jimmy Spithill, Peter Burling, Ben Ainsley. They're still all around.
I know, but they're all getting old like me and no longer on the boat. Age gets us all.
How do you think you'll feel, sitting on the sidelines? Obviously, you've got so much trust in Nathan, but as a CEO, being able to lead this team must be a really cool thing to be able to do.
Yeah, look, I think for me, I've been out of in a sporting sense for 5 years, so I think it works really well. Let Nathan concentrate on the sporting side. I'll just be able to hold him to account on that and enjoy the hospitality a bit.
Artemis, such a special group of people. What does it mean to obviously your owner and to the rest of the Artemis family to be at this league, and why Sail GP?
Yeah, Artemis has been a real special group for many years, and now mixed amongst other teams. And we've got a really proud history, some sad moments, some amazing moments together. So to come back and be at the pinnacle of the sport again, I think is something that's special to us as team members, but I think a lot of the wider family as well. So we're going to get out there, enjoy being back. But look, we're here to win. We're here to make a commercial success as well. So looking forward to joining up all the teams to make that happen.
Well, it's awesome to have you here, and we'll see you around the boat park next season.
Cheers, Lisa.
Okay, I thought those were two nice interviews by Lisa Darman and comments around. These are two of the greatest guys in the sport, and I've known them both not super well. I've known Ian quite well, and we went through the whole tragedy here in San Francisco together back in leading up to the 2013 Cup. Great interviews. Ted Ryman agrees. Luca Craig, interesting how it's okay for Nathan to be involved in Sail GP, but allegedly Pete wasn't. And it was one of the bones of contention for ETNZ. Yeah, interesting point, Luca Craig down in Auckland. John Emmett says, I saw Purse at the cinema in Pompey. What's that? What's Pompey? I shouted at him from behind and then panicked. I just shouted at a very large man out on a date who wasn't Percy.
Oh.
Nice guy. But speaking of the championship schedule for next year, that's also been released. And not any surprises, I guess. I think we've known most of these. January in Perth, February in New Zealand, and that's back in Auckland again, which was a huge success.
Yes.
Then late February, early March in Sydney, April down in Rio, May in Bermuda, later May in New York, then up to Canada, to Halifax in June, then July in the UK and back in Portsmouth. August will be again in Germany. Sassnitz, the same place they were, a couple months ago now, almost month and a half. Mm-hmm. Then to Spain, which is where their next stop is this year, but they'll be back in Spain. They don't list a venue, though, so I don't know if they're going back to Cadiz next year or somewhere else. Then to France in September, later September, then in November. So I don't see on here for next year, I don't see Geneva again. So maybe this is the one, not only the first, but maybe the only stop in Geneva. Then they're going to be in Saint-Tropez, then in the Middle East in November for 2 events in Dubai and then in Abu Dhabi. Portsmouth Sail GP, yeah. Oh, so that's what he was talking about, Portsmouth, when he said Pompey. I guess that's how the Brits, is that a shorthand for Portsmouth? Porty. Great interviews. Portsmouth Sail GP. Ian said it's all the pinnacle of sailing. It is the pinnacle of sailing. And Hamish and I were talking about this yesterday, how much of our lives we've spent in the America's Cup and how we hate to see the America's Cup. You know,
Right.
we don't wish that on anybody, but Mr. Dalton's made a hash of the Cup. Meanwhile, you gotta give Russell and Larry
Yes.
and they've got the best name here. That now they got Ian and Nathan, you know, the two guys arguably who were kind of the big names in the sport for the last 10 years on the outside looking in. They're back,
Yeah.
or Nathan's back and Ian's back and is now involved. And they've got 14 teams, 13 teams, maybe 14 next year. They've got all these events, a full calendar year of events roughly every other month, sometimes twice a month.
Right.
And it's all happening in a huge way. And it's got to be putting enormous pressure on the America's Cup. And I think the America's Cup, Julia, instead of trying to be Sail GP, they should go back to being the America's Cup.
Yes.
And if you have one challenger and you have a deed of gift match, or you agree on a certain class, or if you have 2 or 3 challengers, fine.
And you take all factors into consideration.
And be the America's Cup.
Yeah.
Rare. Once every 2, 3, 4 years, the
Yeah.
rarity factor, and have a big deal.
Yep.
And that's what they should do, in my never
Right.
so humble opinion. So there's the schedule for next year. And now let's get to this year's event, which is coming up tomorrow and Sunday. Is that loud enough? Wow, that's loud.
Jetto.
So that's coming up in Geneva. 06:30 tomorrow, our time, Julia, is the start. 15:30, I believe, is the time, CET, Central European Time, local time, in Geneva. Looks like the first and maybe the last event there. It's going to be very light. Hopefully they're going to have some breeze. But here were the 3 commentators talking, and I took an excerpt from their video that they released this morning, just before we went to air, actually. I thought you would find a little bit of this interesting, including this perspective about the new winglets on the T-foils
Oh, yeah.
on the boats, the light air T-foils that they're going to use this weekend.
So new team, now we're talking new equipment that's going to be introduced here in Geneva.
Yeah, that's right. So we're seeing the introduction of the light air boards. So we've had the heavy air T-foils earlier in the season, but at this point of the season, it's got to be kind of playing on the minds of some of the sailors that maybe aren't quite so comfortable yet on the T-foils. We're introducing a new bit of equipment at a really key point in the season. So I think we'll see some teams picking up quicker than others. It's going to really lean to the flight controllers, who are really super happy with understanding the physics of the flight control and how they can adapt their technique. And I think another thing to add here is that we're on freshwater, so that has a bit of a role to play as well. So I don't think it will cause too many issues, especially for some of the top teams, but it definitely will put the cat amongst the pigeons a little bit in terms of it's a change to what they know, and people are going to have to be adapting along the way.
Yeah, and I think, the interesting thing with it will be, what are the limits of it? So we had training yesterday. As Hannah said, difference with the freshwater is you tend to get a bit less lift in freshwater than in saltwater. So we'd expect the boats to be a bit harder to take off on foil. We saw yesterday 12 kilometres an hour of wind, and they were taking off at about 28 kilometres an hour, which is lower speed than we've seen before, which is, of course, what we expect there. The foils are bigger and wider. It's a bigger aeroplane wing to lift us up in the air. Effectively, it's a more efficient shape. So although it is a bigger area as well, but it's just going to be a lot more efficient and lifty shape. But yeah, what are the limitations on these foils? And that's what we don't know. So yes, we've got the experienced crews are going to be better at it. Yesterday it was the Australians out there, Jason Waterhouse, one of the best in the business at it. But how much a team's going to be able to push with just a couple of events to go? Because I guess these will be the foils that we use for the grand final in the lighter winds in Abu Dhabi. And it's going to be really interesting to see who learns it quickest.
I don't want to talk about Stevie, but you can see he is not as organized in his brain as the lady, for example.
Right.
I mean, I understand what he was trying to say, but it came out as a bit of a word salad which is, I think, part of the reason why when we're watching him live on the broadcast, it comes out as hyperbolic and so much of a word salad. No David James, no San Francisco, no West Coast events next year. No San Francisco, no LA or Long Beach, which is where they should have done it instead of LA. But I think the schedule nonetheless is very impressive. There are frequently public reasons and real reasons. All that matters is that Burling and ETNZ did not come to an agreement. Yeah, they're talking about, again, Sail GP and Nathan and so on. Dalton is Sail GP's best asset, Hamish Ross is saying. Greg Normand, who runs that nice Inside Great Lakes Sailing YouTube channel, Halifax's organizing committee did a great job of landing the show, but it's going to be a horrible place to watch Sail GP. For Canada, it should have been TO. It should have been Toronto, and maybe it's Greg, of course, knowing the Great Lakes as well as he does.
Right.
I don't disagree with that, Greg. Although it was a cold event, they had a pretty good event up there in Halifax a couple of years ago. Replying to John Emmett, and your parents live near Creepy. I don't know what that means. These Brits are back and forth. Ryman, despite living in Cape Town in South Africa, he's really a Brit. What else? It also puts pressure on those trying to do Olympic campaigns at the same time. Yes, but, they fit it in. John says he's fitting in his coaching so he can watch live at the weekend. Turn up the volume. Yeah, I did turn it up. Just apropos audio, if it's a bit of a struggle this time, I'll give you a little hint, Julia. Can you see in this ear?
Yes.
I have a new in-ear, an IEM in-ear monitor, and I actually have stereo in-ear monitors. I have one now in each ear for the first time, like I'm a drummer in a rock and roll band.
Yeah.
Which has pros and cons, and I practiced with them all day yesterday trying to listen and learn. But suffice to say, as I keep saying, audio on these shows, on any show, is really, on these video podcasts, is more important than the video. And we are trying to do a better and better job with the audio. And I think these new in-ears will help me do so, because I'm running the audio as well as switching the show. I could put cans on, and I have some sitting right here in case we ever have a problem. I could put headphones on, but then you look, Julia looks like the coordinating producer that she is with her headphones on. So that's one thing. Plus, she's got her mic. And by having that headset with the mic on it, keeps it right in front of her mouth. I can do the same thing. I got another headset like that. But
it's better the way it is.
Julia keeps telling me that. Okay, so
Yeah.
I digress. Sorry about all that with audio. But I am trying to improve my ability to hear the audio live as we're going forward. Peter McDonald down in Newport Beach. Tom, you're spot on. Let GP be about, let it Sail GP be about what it is. And return the America's Cup to what it was. And, of course, Peter McDonald is Dion Ficker McDonald's husband. Dion Ficker, the daughter of the late, great Bill Ficker, who won the Cup on Intrepid in 1970. And a great starboat sailor, just a great sailor, and one of the true gentlemen, like Gentleman Jim in Australia, you had Gentleman Bill. Just one of the nicest guys. He was tough. I sailed with him a little bit. Tough, strong guy, beautiful human being. Summer squalls can be intense on Lake Geneva, meeting in Switzerland. Having seen what one does to a fleet, Hamish spent some time there when he was working for SNG, the Société Nautique Genève. Jody Shields, if you put headphones and on a helmet on, you will look like a modern-day sailor.
Yes.
So are the Fozy on the left ear and Julie on the right? Is this a port starboard thing? No, it's stereo. So I'm hearing the mics in both ears.
Yeah.
I'm hearing any of the mono signals in both ears, but the audio that runs, usually, not always, but the audio that runs on the videos that we play is normally stereo, certainly the videos I produced. And I don't know if you can see this, but I also have great big audio meters right here on the screen. So whether I'm looking at this screen or that screen, they're kind of right in the middle.
Yeah.
So I can see, and there's two audio meters. The one on the left is our microphones and the Zoom if we have a guest. The one on the right is the sound for everything else, for the videos, for the Zoom, for the sound pads if I play the crickets. You can see now the meter on the right is jumping up, down. That's the crickets. And I try to keep our mic audio up a little higher than the other audio and the Zoom audio. We want to stay consistent with our mics as well. Now, the courses, while we're talking about Geneva and Hamish are talking about SNG, and you can have some summer squalls, late summer squalls there, but this is the course diagram. You can barely see the outline of the lake here. This area right here, oops, I didn't quite get that right. This area right about here is the basin for SNG, Société Nautique Genève. The town of Geneva is over here, down at the south and south end of the lake. And it's, they're up in the wider spot. They've got the race course up here where it is wider, so it should be okay up there, up in that area. And hopefully that will all work out for the racing. But it is going to be light. That's the prediction for both days.
I couldn't help at looking at the schedule, thinking that one of the groups that'll benefit most is the one that the transportation of the yachts between ports.
Well, the logistics of that, as Andrew Pindar can tell us, is a big deal.
That's right, and that's good for his business.
Well, I don't know that he's involved in that. I think they have. In fact, there's some talk that Sail GP is going to get their own ship. Jody knows about that.
Well, that would make some sense.
And Bill Wingrove's asking, will there be smoke on the water? And I don't know if you saw it in the cover slide when I get to it. I did put smoke in the water in the cover slide last night. Had a bit of a joke with Stingray, and I talked to Stingray, and he said, "Oh, you got to put smoke on the water." He being the musician and the big musical guy that he is, Jody Shields. Stingray. Up in Seattle.
Mm-hmm.
And I sent, where was it? I texted it to a few people and said, Deep Purple did that famous song, da, 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 one of the great guitar licks. I sent it down to Hamish because I think I taught his kid how to play it on the bass when we were da, 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 da. And the lyrics are about Lake Geneva, although at the other end of Lake Geneva, we all went out to Montreux or something, the jazz festival, the rock festival, and Hamish put those lyrics in somewhere. I didn't put them into the show. Where are they? But yes, that Deep Purple, Smoke on the Water, the official music video, I put that in. I sent that to a few of you apropos today's show. So that's it. But that was about, somebody set a flare off and they burned the place to the ground. Wasn't that the language? Okay, I digress again, Julia. It's a Friday. I'm entitled to digressing, aren't I?
You are.
Huh?
Yes.
And that fountain is south of the core. That's way down here in this part of, it's way down here someplace. It's south of the club. And really, in fact, I've got that even too far to the north. It's down here closer in this area. Mm-hmm. So that fountain, what's the name of that fountain?
I have no idea.
I have no idea. Julia? Where are the Swiss when we need it? One of my former colleagues, Fog Machine, is saying, was at that concert. By the way, it's 136-1396 on a touch-tone phone.
Thank you, Fog Machine.
Smoke on the Water at a Frank Zappa concert, Bill Wingrove. Look at a bunch of old farts on here. That was a great song. Now, one more little note here from Lisa Darman I thought you would enjoy.
Tom, well, you've been one of the only ones out there on the lake, but you've been testing the new foils. What was it like?
Yeah, it's very rare that we're the only one out there. It feels like we're last sometimes, but we had the lake to ourselves yesterday testing the new foils, and we had the perfect conditions to test them, sort of very light winds building from maybe 4 to 8 knots of wind, and the foils performed amazing. It's really cool to see the wind speed that we need to foil now has come down, the maneuverability of the boats has gone up. It's really exciting for the whole fleet.
Is it going to change the way you sail in light wind much?
I don't think it'll change too much the way you sail, but the boats will be more manoeuvrable and you'll be able to pull off your foiling tacks and foiling jibes in less wind, which is nice. You get on the foils earlier in less wind. So essentially we just are dropping the wind speed in which we're able to foil these boats, which everyone knows these boats foiling are a lot more exciting than not foiling.
And so these are the light air T-foils, but then you also have the new rudders, which you're able to change out on the water now. So that's a great option.
Yeah, it's a great option. Obviously, with wind forecasts always changing, we make our best estimate and guess for what foils we need for the day, but sometimes the weather pattern doesn't happen and you need to make a quick change. These new rudders mean that we can make a change on the water. It's about, I'm not too sure, but it'll be somewhere around a 15-20 minute change to change the rudders if we need to. So that's great. It just adds a bit more flexibility to the racing.
Oh, it's so exciting. Now we are at the pointy end of the season. Points are super close. What are you expecting for this weekend and the next couple of events?
We obviously didn't have our best event in Saint-Tropez, so we're looking to turn that round. And yeah, here in Geneva, first time racing here. I've got to learn a bit from Seb and the Swiss team about some local knowledge. I know they won't give me much, but I'll just have to watch them on the racetrack. And yeah, we need to get back on that podium. We need to try to cement our position heading into the final event in Abu Dhabi, which we know can be a real tough event. You want to have a bit of a points buffer heading into Cadiz and Abu Dhabi.
Awesome. We'll have a great weekend, Tom. Thanks for chatting.
Now there is the water jet in the background of that shot, clearly. Tight for TV schedule. Still Oz GBR NZL is what John Emmett's choice is. Well, let's go look at the standings. If I can get rid of the green square on my telestrator. Pete Burling is leading. They also did an interview, Lisa did, with Pete, and it was interesting. But, you know, he kind of into the not corporate speak, but he's very polite and not very forthcoming with new information. But I actually thought that one, Julia, Tom was very interesting, very articulate as usual. But the new information about changing the rudders afloat, I didn't know that they could do that now.
Yeah, no. Well, there was a special on TV which I saw about that.
Changing rudders.
Well, it was part of a thing. At the same time, they were doing the new foils.
We're talking about new foils and the new rudders.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, there are the standings at the seasons. This is the current season standings, and it's tight at the top, to use the cliche now that increasingly I use and others. 70 points for the black foils, 2 points behind them in second are Dylan and co. on the Emirates GBR, the 68 points. And then Tom and his Bonds Flying Ruse are on 67 points. But we'll see how they go this weekend. It's going to be light. I think it's going to be
Spain was only...
I'm getting to it, Julia.
Only 3 points.
I'm going to get to your team. I think it's really anybody's regatta. But, Julia, you like your Spanish.
I do.
And they are in fourth place.
But they're not going to do as well in really light air, I don't think.
Probably not. They haven't so far. But as you can see, they're on 64 points. Julia's favorite team, Los Gallos, if you're Castellano, or Gallos if you are Americano Espanol. And most of us say the French have no chance at all. They're a good up-range team and more breeze. They seem to do better. Quentin Delapierre and his French team. But they're way back. They're 12 points back of fourth place. So, again, the whole deal is to get into the top three for that final event at the end of that final event, so that those top three teams then go into the winner take all for, what was it, more than $1 million this year?
Is it?
I think so.
Wow.
So we tell you a little bit about the American team, very little, because they get no ink except on their own social media team continues to put stuff out on their Facebook page and on their TikTok and on their Insta. But I did glean this somewhere, that the driver this weekend, again, is Taylor. The wing trimmer is Michael Menninger. The flight controller is Hans Hanken. The grinder, Peter Kinney. Grinder, Anna Weiss. And the grinder, Mac Agnesi. But I don't think it'll be all of them. I suspect they'll sail with fewer teams, too. Remember, fewer crew. Remember, they can reduce the crew from the standard complement of 6, is it, down to, as few as 3. Andrew Campbell is listed as the strategist. But Mike Buckley can't help himself listing himself as the reserve strategist. Got to keep his name in this. And Marcus Lynch, their coach, who's a good coach, and their data analyst and also a coach, Ivan Bulaha. I guess I don't know, Ivan. Winner gets $2 million $1 coins. Is that right? Are they going to pour it all out?
Wow.
Had David James, Team USA are winning on the low point system. Yeah, they're DFL. They're in last place.
Yep.
So, Julia.
Sir.
That brings us to another loud slide. And we've got Foxtrot Papa, which is for Fozzie Predictions. Used to say Fozzie Polls. I changed it this morning to Fozzie Predictions. What are your predictions, Julia? Who's going to win this weekend?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know.
Take a guess.
Well,
you're not too keen on your Spanish team's chances.
I sure wish him the inch to go to get in the final three. So I will hope that they do.
Okay, but who do you think, in your heart of hearts, your black little heart, who's going to win? It is a pirate day. You're black-hearted,
Oh yes.
Okay, to hell with you.
I don't know.
Claire Harrington says Australia. She loves Tommy Slingsby, the skipper for American Magic. That's her favorite sailor. What saith the rest of you? Who is going to win here, Julia? The Fozzie predictions are coming in. So far, Claire's the only one who's jumped on the bandwagon. Alistair Murray now saying he can't go past Tom Slingsby. He's going with Tom. Blind Australian loyalty.
Mm-hmm.
Chris actually reminding us that the USA has done well in light air in the past. Yeah, I think that's the only time they've been on the podium was that first regatta of the year in the Middle East.
Mm-hmm.
Thierry de Jong says the Swiss will have, I think he's implying that they'll have some local knowledge, as you heard Tom.
Well, and that's probably true.
As you heard Tom say.
Yes.
Maybe. I agree with Hamish Ross. I think it's just going to be a crapshoot, and anybody could win this weekend. Fog Machine says Oz. Remember, they don't necessarily do well in light air. Dogzilla Monster saying that the Black Foils, the Kiwis, I think I might side again. I picked the Kiwis last weekend and was not correct, but I may go with Stingray AK, Dogzilla Monster, and go with the Black Foils as well. Rick Bannerow says Kiwi. He agrees with us. He says Kiwis, then the Aussies, and then the Crumpets. Who's that, the Brits? The Crumpets? Mary Jude says Slingsby. We're going to hope, Clark Chapin, hope somebody's recording this because we got to start recording this in seriousness and then making fun of those who make the bad guesses and rewarding somehow those who make the good ones. Alan Long, he's agreeing with Slingsby.
Mm-hmm.
Black Foils followed by the Aussie Underoos. The Undies, Chris Fear.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, that's seems like a lot of people think Slingsby's going to win this weekend, even in the light air. We'll see.
Well, I mean, he's a great sailor, no question about that.
Jody Shields making an interesting comment. Reduced cruise means the skip, because of the light air, means the skippers will be flying the boat. So therefore, I reckon either the Aussies or the Kiwis.
Oh, that is a good point.
Yeah, I think the Kiwis have got a good shot in the light. I'd love to see the Americans do better, but I'm just not going to hold my breath for them. So that's our preview of this weekend's regatta up in Switzerland, Saturday and Sunday. Now they're back, not the Friday, Saturday, or else we'd be telling you the results of today's racing. It's tomorrow and Sunday. Julia, 0630, they're live here on YouTube in the U.S., which is 1330 UTC, 1530 CET, Central European Time, local in Geneva.
I can do that.
So that's 0630. That's not, you're always awake by 0630.
Yep.
In fact, you're often awake at 0430.
Yes, I know.
Well, you're old. You don't sleep anymore.
I know.
Until, at some point, we sleep, as Ian Burns used to say, he says, you're only alive for a short period of time. Then you're asleep for a long time. My dad used to say, don't go to bed. And if you're in bed, get out of bed, because people die in bed.
Yeah, I know.
The less time you spend in bed, the less chance you have of dying.
Right.
It's like going to the hospital.
I know.
People die in the hospital.
Absolutely.
Go to the hospital. USA will not require a trip to KKMI. That's a local joke. Lance Burke is telling us. So that's what's going on here with the Sail GP this weekend, Saturday, Sunday. 0630, 0930 on the East Coast, 1330 UTC, 1530 CET, and you're a day later, the night before, late in your evening, early morning down under. Upcoming are also, we remind you, the 4th and 5th of October is the DP World Spain Sail GP in Andalucia in Cadiz. And then finally, the last event, Mubadala Abu Dhabi Sail Grand Prix, the season grand finale, 29th and 30th of November in Abu Dhabi, Julia. This day in history, since we've been talking a little bit about the Kiwis, and then we're going to talk about women after this, I thought you would enjoy this one. What happened, Julia, on this day in history, the 19th of September,
93.
93.
Oh, 92 I have some chance at. 93 I don't.
Well, what happened in 92?
Well, there's some important...
You just had another year to figure it out.
I know.
93, here's your first and only clue. Perfect political equality. Parliamentary heights, the summit at last, Julia.
Oh.
My grandmother was a suffragette, but that was a little later here in the U.S. than what we're talking about, in the early 1900s. We're talking about 1893, Julia.
Yeah.
Well, Steve Gruber, he gets it.
Yeah.
Well done, Steve. Oh, I got the crickets still playing. We can get rid of the crickets. Steve Gruber says the women got the vote in NZ. Fog machine asking if the Philippines became part of the U.S.
Yeah.
Jody Shields, they're back on the Sail GP. He thinks the Italians might have a good weekend. Well, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Maybe, hopefully. Hamish got it. NZL grants the Kiwi women the right to vote. David James, NZ, as a sexist would say, NZ started downhill. That's what happened. The summit at last, women gained the vote in New Zealand, the first country, by the way, to grant women the vote. In 1893, New Zealand becomes the first country to grant all women the right to vote on this day in history, 19 September 1893. Julia?
That's wonderful.
Wonderful. I think we've covered that on this show before.
Yes, we have.
Speaking of women, look at this. The Women's Match Racing World Championship is going on. It's part of the World's Women's Match Racing Tour. It's going on at Chicago Yacht Club in the Windy City. And, of course, the reason the Windy City has its nickname has nothing to do with wind.
No.
It was because of the windy politicians.
I was going to say the talkers.
The talkers. At the turn of the century, that's how Chicago got its nickname as the Windy City. It's been pretty light. They had a long day yesterday. They sailed on day 2, almost after sunset. The second day of racing yesterday at the 2025 World Sailing Women's Match Racing World Championship. Wow, that is a mouthful. World Championship on Lake Michigan presented challenging conditions for the 12 competing teams as a gradual easterly. Remember, Chicago's on the west side of the lake. So an easterly comes in, you get a lot of slop. You get chop, a short swell on the course. France's Pauline Courtois, the perennial favorite, if not perennial winner, and her match in pink team from France found their stride to finish their second day undefeated with 7 wins as the sun set over the Chicago skyline. There is a late evening photo, beautiful. The golden hour, nice photo there. Race officials worked diligently to keep the program moving throughout the day as the breeze shifted throughout the afternoon, completing 11 flights of the opening round-robin stage. The day's final matches unfolded against a spectacular backdrop as the sun dipped behind the Chicago skyline.
Yeah, that first slide was gorgeous.
It was. So it's a beautiful skyline. But Pauline Courtois and her French team are looking very strong indeed, Julia.
Yes.
And I took this off just before we went to air, so this is not yesterday's results. This was the results as of about an hour ago, or maybe 2 hours ago now. But Pauline was still...
Yes. Oh, my gosh.
She lost one. She lost one match to Anna Östling, who's one of the other top-notch people. Anna, of course, from Sweden. So Pauline on 90%, 9 wins, 7 wins. Anna Osling has 7 wins. But Megan Thompson, who led early on, is doing well as well. She's dropped 2 races, at least she had as of a couple hours ago. She's on 8 wins, and I suspect they will all. I think this regatta has the format that Andy Rose and I are not too fond of. We like to have a double round robin, let everybody get used to the condition, let everybody sail, double round robin, then just take 4 boats into the semis. But I believe they do this round robin, then they go into a quarterfinals, then a semifinals, and then a finals. That's the format. But they have today's racing, then tomorrow, then I believe they carry on through Sunday. James Pleasance is there, and I hope we have some kind of report from him for Tuesday's show. Baton Rouge asking, do you know much about the boat they use for the Chicago match race venue? We talked about that a bunch of shows ago, maybe 2 months ago. And remind me if you know it, Baton Rouge, Baton Cannon, about that boat. I'll go back to the slide and take that off. You can see those boats, and they are bespoke boats. And I think they were built, weren't they built down your way, Baton Cannon, down in Charleston? Let me back that slide up, too. Anybody knows. We'll detail that for you on Tuesday. Remind me, Julia, to look again into those boats. For the Chicago match racing at Chicago Yacht Club, and this is their 100th year? I think it's their 100th year.
Yes.
Not their 150th year, but they're celebrating a great year at that spectacularly cool yacht club. 2 stations. And I don't know if they're sailing this out of downtown, out of the Monroe Street station, or if they're sailing it up the shore out of their other station or not. We'll know. Katie Spithill is the Australian women's team there. So Katie Spithill is involved in that event. Nicole Briot, Julia, from our club here from St. Francis, having a bit of a struggle on 50%. Who else of note? A lot of top-notch sailors there.
Yes.
I see Juliet Costanzo. I see Celia Willison. I don't see on that list. I don't see Katie Spithill, Phil Burgess, on that list. Maybe she's crewing for one of the Aussie teams. Fog Machine thinks it looks like Monroe Street, which is downtown. I think so as well, but I'm not 100%. Lance Burke, a.k.a. Fog Machine. Monroe Street is their main station downtown in Chicago. So we'll look forward to more of that. The final results, rather, on Tuesday. In the meantime, we have an AAAA. Alistair Murray has submitted his awesome Aussie anecdote, and you may remember that he reported in. We've got 2 from him this week. That's pretty good to have 2. So we had one on Tuesday when he was up at Byron Bay in the very northeastern corner of New South Wales. I guess it's the easternmost point on the continent, on the big island of Australia. But he's back home now in Meetung at his holiday home and submits this report.
G'day, Tom, Julia, and all the Fozy. This is Alistair with AAAA, Alistair's awesome Aussie anecdote, brought to you from beautiful Meetung, my happy place. Further to my AAAA of last week, I thought I'd just confirm that I have 2 upcoming launch dates. On March 17th next year, our second grandchild will be delivered, or around then. And believe it or not, I've got 3 daughters. I've got a wife, like an ex-wife. I've got a granddaughter, and I'm now expecting another granddaughter. So I don't know what I've done to deserve this, but that's life for me. And believe me, I'm extremely happy because this is going to be the first child of my youngest daughter, and she's thrilled beyond belief, as is her husband. And then next week, my new boat, which I mentioned to you in the AAAA, I brought to you from Byron Bay. I said in the chat in the last show that I'd run a comp to guess the name of the boat, so let's do it. And with Tom's permission, I'd like to run it perhaps next week after the launch, and we'll perhaps put up the prize of the Ronstand start watch that I sent to Tom that we've been wondering what to do with. So that's sitting there. But this week's challenge, with no prize other than the bragging rights, I thought would be to guess the type of boat, because I gave you a few clues last week. And just let me say, it's a few clues. It's a small keel boat. It's got an electric motor. It's a good looking and it's fast. It's beautifully made, and it's European Boat of the Year 2024. So somebody will get it from that. I'll be on the chat at today's show, watching, and let's see who comes up with that first. But also, I'd be really interested to hear from the other foes as well. As I mentioned, I think this is my. It's funny. It's nice and symmetrical, but I think this is my 18th boat. My 18th. I've had 18 cars and I've had 18 bikes, and I obviously get a lot of joy from these things. And as I know the other foes you do. This is a beautiful little boat. It's not the biggest boat I've ever bought. It's only small, but I'm going to absolutely love it because it ticks all the boxes for me. I've got the car of my dreams in my in the garage, but that's perhaps a story for another day. And I certainly ride the high-end bikes that are the same as the guys in the Tour de France are riding. So we love our toys, don't we, Fosey? Anyway, that's my story, and I'd love to hear from the other Fosey. How many boats have you had in your life? I reckon with John Emmett, it'd be probably 100 or so, because he must have had a lot of Ilkas. Perhaps, Drew, how many cars you had? And I know that Andrew McIrvin, for example, has got a really special car in his garage. And how many bikes, perhaps? And other things that give you joy. Perhaps you've had 18 houses in your life. I've got no idea. I certainly haven't had that many. Anyway, a little bit of fun. As I said, when I launch the boat, I'll video that. Send it to Tom, and we'll run a competition to see who can come up with a name, perhaps the name, the colour, a couple of connections. We'll see how we go, but it should be fun. That's all from me. Over and out from Alistair, from Me Tongue. Cheers, folks. Bye.
Okay, Julia, any idea
About the name or the boat?
what the boat is?
No, I don't have any idea.
Baton Rouge is suggesting it might be an RS-21.
It's an electric motor.
Has an electric motor.
Yeah.
There's a lot of suggestions for boat names. Small and beautifully built, an Audrey.
Happen.
Well, see, now they're all the nice AAA, yeah. But you see, they're all talking about what the name of the boat should be, not what it is, other than Baton Rouge, who says RS-21. Chris Fury knows. He would know. He's one of Alistair's best mates. Alistair Murray, the watch is for my boat name next week. This week's comp is for the type of boat. Okay, so the watch is for boat name. Julia?
Yes.
I think the boat clearly, and there's a lot of suggestions already coming up. Instead of Taser 2, who said that? Phil Burgess said Taser 2, or Jody says he should be a bevy for a collective noun for a bunch of girls.
Yes. Yeah. So
I think he should name it AAAA.
It's too hard.
No, it's not. AAAA. And people could, there's Fog Machine. Alistair's Awesome Anchors Away. You could come up with anything, clean or not so clean.
Yes.
Huh?
Okay.
What do you think? AAAA. Anyway,
yeah. I think it's too hard.
We do have this watch, which I've had here a long time. Alistair sent it. See if it autofocuses here. There we go.
Yeah.
I've had it a long time and just been sitting here, and Alistair and I have been talking about what to do with it. We're going to run some kind of a contest somehow. A4, Rick Bannerow says, yeah, I like that too. The big clue is European Boat of the Year 2024. You ought to be able to look that up. Anybody should be able to look that up, Julia, and see what that is. But we've got that watch, and that apparently is for the boat name. Are we supposed to guess the boat name, Alistair, or are we going to help you name it? More houses than boats for me, Alan Long says. 18 boats to date. Want to talk about airplanes. Wow. Alan Long's got some airplanes. I think Claire Harrington may have all of you beat on cars. She is a car person and she loves her cars, and we won't talk about her. She's got what do you call that when you have not a fleet of cars? What do you call that? not a fleet.
A stable.
A stable of cars. I like stable. That's not bad. Okay, in any event, that's Alistair and Alistair's awesome Aussie anecdote for today. Thank you, Alistair. And we will revisit that again next week. The competition, Julia.
Yes.
And we'll see what... we have a boat here in Wanji called Yes Dear. His tender's name is How High? A garage of cars. Alistair's awesome Aussie anecdote for today. Thank you very much.
Yes, always
Alistair,
good.
The President Emeritus of Australian Sailing. He's past president.
Yes.
A shit ton. A shit ton of cars. Yeah, our former late night host, Jay Leno, not the most recent late night host, late night host. Jay Leno, he's got a collection of cars. He got a big garage. Okay, we just check in here. I don't have the very latest. They would have wrapped up now, but I haven't seen anything unless any of you all have. But the OK Dinghy Worlds are continuing this huge event, 215 boats from 18 nations, Bravo Zulu, running the 12th through the 19th. They wrap, I guess, today. I thought they wrapped tomorrow, but maybe they wrap today. And here is their report from yesterday.
So beautiful.
Another great day of sailing. It's pretty tough in the Gold Fleet, but it's just absolutely magic. The awesome venue. I think everybody who didn't come will definitely be feeling like they've missed out. And yeah, we've got another beautiful day again tomorrow. Forecast about 30 degrees. Rash top sailing. It's just brilliant.
This has been the best day of my life. Monday's got nothing on today. I think I've started to realize why people go to regatta and have fun. This has been crazy. I've never been in a field with this many people. Usually it's 7, 8, maybe 5 people around me. Here it's 25. And gold winner. I was before the gold winner. I cried a little bit when I came down.
Tomorrow, 2 times.
Let's not jinx it. I cried a little bit on the way down because I was so proud of myself. I've never been this proud of myself. I think I have to make something great of it now. I can't just be a Danish slacker anymore. Maybe I might have to start training even. This is a shocking experience. Thank you so much. Best day of my life.
So another fabulous day on Garda. We've been blessed with the conditions this week for mid-September. We've had 15 to 20 knots every day. So yeah, great racing, really nice waves. Downwind's been fantastic as well, but pretty tough. Today I think it's the hardest OK's fleet I've ever sailed in. The quality's amazing, so I came away 2 seconds, which normally I'd be absolutely delighted with, but Millsy came away with 2 firsts. He's a strong lad, so he's very quick upwind, but he's also very good downwind and starting well and tactically good. So yeah, all round not too bad. So hopefully he'll make a mistake tomorrow, but it's not looking that way. I'll try and keep the pressure on. I'm doing all I can, but he's sailing really well.
How many regattas have we covered from Garda this year?
Oh, I don't know. A lot of them. And it can't be too many for me because I love that place.
Oh, goodness. Fabulous. Robert Deves, who just is the kind of single-handed, maybe one-arm paper hanger of a PR guy who does this class, the Finn class, the 5.5, and maybe some others. Bravo Zulu for keeping us posted. He sends the stuff right to me as soon as they have it. I don't have to wait till they get their big email out for everybody else. That
Right.
I appreciate it very much.
Yes.
Cool boat, cool event. And when somebody, Julia, when somebody comes away from a regatta like this and says, this is the best day of my life. And she said that. We had her on the Tuesday show in a quote that she said. I mean, that's what you want.
Absolutely.
And I don't care if the sport's growing or shrinking. The more people that say, I've just had the best day
Great
of my
day.
life
Yeah.
is what this and our beloved sport. I heard John use the word beloved sport about 3 times.
Good for him.
In his report today. That was good. Okay. Superb stuff that gets us to the last leg, Julia. And let's have a look at this. I thought we should re-talk about this upcoming event here at the Sewanaka Corinthian Yacht Club. We talked a little bit about it on Tuesday. And just to reprise the facts here, the International 6 meters make historic return to Sewanaka, the Sewanaka Corinthian Yacht Club, for their World Championship that starts. It's really started already with measurement and practice racing and the 6 meter North Americans or something, but the Worlds start formally on the 22nd. 30 boats from 10 countries at SCYC, that fabulous clubhouse in Oyster Bay on the north shore of Long Island. Long Island, New York, Sewanaka Corinthian, and the Open. They have 2 divisions, the Open and the 6 meter divisions. They'll run concurrently from the 22nd through the 26th with at least 30 teams traveling from across North America and Europe. The crews are from Greece, Canada, Germany, Sardinia, which of course is Italy, as we said on Tuesday, Spain, Switzerland, France, the BVI, California even, because Dennis is there, Dennis Conner. The PNW and along the U.S. Eastern Seaboard will compete for 17 historic and prestigious trophies, including the stunning 6 meter World Cup trophy, which was presented to the class in '73 by the Puget Sound 6 meter Association up in, again, the Pacific Northwest with the port of Seattle. Fabulous class. It's a meter boat, just like the 12s, only a different formula. Same formula, but different number. The divisor, not the divisor, the quotient comes out to be equal to or less than 6 meters. That's not the length of the boat, but when you plug all the dimensions in that are taken into account, it's the metric formula. Such is the resurgence of interest in the 6 meter class at the current time that there will be 2 brand new 6s on the starting line for the world's Mr. America's Cup himself, DC. Dennis Conner will participate aboard his new boat, Ole Miss, a Hobby Sela design launched, and that's a Spanish designer launched in San Diego in late last year. He's been working it up, having some trouble with it, one hears. Ole Miss continues the recent trend of radical developments in the modern 6s, and it will be exciting to see her line up against the likes of Henrik Andersen's Oiva, the reigning 6 meter Open European champion, which was raced and it will be raced again. No, it won't be raced again. It'll be there, but not being raced by the same guy that won last time. It was designed by Alan Savolainen and built by Red Sky Yachts, launching in October of 2022. But there is a new Ian Howlett boat that has been built for the 2023 winner, who is a longtime New York Yacht Club member and friend. And we've got a video here to help fill you in on what has gone on in this class. Jamie Hilton, who the previous winner in 2023, is the guy that has this new Howlett boat. And I have a video from the 2023 Worlds I thought it's a look back, but it's also a way of giving you a feel for what is about to happen in this spectacularly cool club and class. And of course, in the classics division, His Majesty King Juan Carlos, the King Emeritus of Spain, will be defending his 6 meter classic world champion. That's for the older boats. He's racing his beloved Bribon, the 1947 Arvid Lauren design, which was built by Plym in Sweden. Having won 3 of the last 4 classic world championships, His Majesty will no doubt be keen to claim the trophy again. And here, Julia, is the aforementioned and promised video.
bet.
That obviously from a couple of years ago at Cowes at the Royal Yacht Squadron. What a fabulous venue, fabulous class. Wasn't that a nice video?
Yes.
Sir James Holman. Claire Harrington recognizing him
I
there.
wasn't recognizing any of them.
Well, you saw His Majesty was there and
Yes.
Jamie Hilton and a few others.
Yeah.
But apparently we have a winner, Julia.
Oh, yes.
Apparently Chris Exley has properly named the boat that Alistair has purchased. It's a Safier SE24 Light. Am I reading that correct, Alistair?
Mm-hmm.
Safier SE24 Light. Bingo, Chris, actually.
Wow.
So apparently Chris is the winner, Julia.
Yay.
But it's the name now that gets the watch. Apparently not what kind of boat. We'll have some other kind of award for that, no doubt. Yeah, the 6 meters, as David James is saying, they really are.
Yes.
Lovely boats indeed. And that it was a fabulous, that video was done by the class. I don't know who they hired or to produce
It was
that
good.
video, but it was good, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So I was talking with John Sangmeister, I guess yesterday, and John, who's sailed with Dennis back, as we said on Tuesday's show. And the interesting thing, Julie, will be whether or not Dennis, at age 80, whatever he is, is he 82? I think we decided that the other day. He just turned on Tuesday, was his 82nd birthday. But the interesting thing will be to see whether he, with this brand new boat, and whether he's got it worked up, and he'll have a superb crew, and he'll have a good shore team, and, old Dennis, no excuse to lose.
Right.
Preparation. And whether he can beat Jamie Hilton and the other top teams that are going to be, there'll be quite a crowd. And apparently Steve Gruber or somebody saying there's no North Americans. I thought I heard from someone there was some kind of a pre-regatta, but maybe that was informal, or maybe that's not even happening. But there are 2 practice races on Sunday, according to Steve Gruber. And then the regatta starts Monday, runs through Friday, 8 races scheduled. Thank you, as you see up there at the top of the chat. Thank you for that, Steve Gruber. That's the last leg. Gets us in the rest of the way into the D block, Julia, and your favorite man.
Yes.
The most interesting man in the world.
In the world, yes.
And following up on where we started this show about P.
The other
Rotten,
interesting man.
another pirate.
Yes.
Pirate. Some people have called me a pirate, Julia, and I claim that title happily, But Hamish Ross, in the midst of all this back and forth this morning and last night about pirates, and this came from Hamish, I kid you not, at 02:30 his time.
Yeah.
I don't know what he was, of course it's his Saturday morning at 02:30, but he sent this in. He said, a valid letter of marque is what separates a pirate from a privateer. A fine at times distinction that separates a knighthood from a noose.
Oh, thank you for that.
And I wrote back to Hamish. We were texting back and forth and said, first of all, what are you doing up at 02:37 your time? Well, it's Saturday morning and, why not?
Why not?
I guess Samantha is, maybe Samantha's frisky or maybe she's not. I don't know, Julia.
Yeah.
But this was in apropos all this pirate discussion. And then I said, well, where did that quote come from, Hamish? Because I Googled it.
Yeah.
They've had this privateer system where the king or somebody could authorize privateers to go out and be pirates, in effect.
For the crown.
For the crown, or for themselves if they'd been wronged. They could, if somebody had wronged you, you could go back and try to regain your booty.
Really?
Yeah. Regain your booty, regain your reputation even.
Yeah.
But apparently, this has been long since done away with. That is, this whole privateer mark thing. And Hamish wrote, I wrote to him, and he said, it's not a quote, but my own words, to distinguish the fine line between legitimacy and piracy.
Right.
Interestingly, all civilized nations have renounced letters of marque since just after the America's Cup, AC0, 1856, with the exception of the U.S., who as late as 2022 considered in Congress, he says, issuing letters of marque to seize Russian oligarch yachts.
Aha.
Wouldn't have that been fun to get a letter of marque from Congress? And then you go down to San Diego, there's one of those
There were a lot of them around.
yachts was down there, and you get the authorization to be a bounty hunter and go grab that yacht. So says Hamish.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, Hamish, that was wonderful to do.
Huh?
That was wonderful to know.
That's, of course, from Hamish, and I had to put that in here. The D block, also in the D block, Claire Harrington sent this to me. We've run this before.
Yeah.
Always be yourself, unless you can be a pirate, then always be a pirate. Thank you, Vice Commodore Harrington.
Yep.
And then, of course, we like to end with all the smartest people sail, courtesy of Blake, who sent that, and that's how we wrap this show up. Julia?
Yes, indeed.
Right?
It was
At
great.
the finish line. And we're an hour and 30, the clocks are working today, an hour and 36 minutes into this show. We do this every Tuesday and Friday. We thank you for joining us today as we are at the finish line for this show number 867. Soon it will be 900, Julia.
Oh, my goodness.
And at this stage, you always like to say,
be certain to like, follow, and share, and all three, because it helps us a lot, and your friends appreciate it. Oh, I didn't know that's what you were doing. Oh, why didn't you tell me?
That's indeed the case. And we always say that comments are welcome in replay because so many people do watch the show in replay. And because people are so decent and respectful, there's no name calling, there's no personal attacks.
That's true.
There's no coarse language. And if there is, you, Madam Commodore, one strike and you're out. It's no tolerance. No tolerance. An interesting final comment here from Jay Rendell up in Scow Country up in Minnesota. Jay, nice to see you on. He said in the late 1800s and early 1900s, there were radical designs in the Sewanaka Cup, which is this famous old trophy, one of the oldest trophies other than the America's Cup, that led to the A scow and B scows. Several boat builders and sailors at that time were from White Bear Lake, his lake up in Minnesota.
Yeah.
More about that in his upcoming book. We'll get him on here to tell us about that book.
Yes.
We've talked about that before. He's been a big supporter of Olympic campaigns and more. Thanks for a great show. Tier DeYoung is saying, cheers, Phil. All of you, Jody Shields, if you can't have a great weekend, just get drunk. Don't get drunk. Don't get drunk. Just have a glass or two, some rum in honor of International Talk Like a Pirate's Day, Julia.
Right.
Special thanks to everybody who supports us via Patreon, patreon.com/join/sailing illustrated. Helps keep us in one piece here so we can have $100 Shure SE215 professional in-ear monitors so we can get our audio even better than ever or than it's been in the past. Thanks for your support. A few bucks a month really does help. Thank you very much to all who gave us audio, video, and images for today's show. Julia, I have a final thought. Do you?
Yes, do keep paying attention to our show because we get lots of recognition for that.
You mean via Facebook?
Yeah.
It does. It does help paying attention. And the comments, they take it all together and then they plug it into the algorithm. I was going to say here as my final thought, when we see you on Tuesday, we will be past the September equinox, which is Monday at 11:19 Pacific time. It's 18:19 Monday evening UTC. So it's Tuesday morning for all of you down under. And that is, of course, when in the Northern Hemisphere, it's on Monday, the 22nd at 18:19, as I just said. But the autumnal equinox marks the moment when the sun crosses the celestial equator, as you all know, I'm sure, moving from north to south, and is considered the first day of fall in the Northern Hemisphere. And for those of you down under, the first day of spring. So we'll look forward to that. On Monday, the days, Julia, are getting shorter.
Yes, and darker.
But we'll survive. We always do.
We do.
What we don't survive, or at least what I don't survive very well, is the changing of all these clocks. Lock the clock. We don't need to do all this daylight savings time. Have a great weekend wherever in the world you are. Go sailing. And in the meantime, if you do, sail fast, sail safe, and have fun. Thanks and ciao for now.